because that's what it feels like. It's like, ooh, do I like this face? Ooh, do I like that face? Ooh, is this my face or is that my face? And we're not talking about literal face. I mean, it can be literal face. Like, do you notice the gestures you make with your face? Like, I was very aware of that. So I'm like, this is interesting. So I just kind of started contemplating that for like a while, just like staring and doing all these weird gestures with my face. It was hilarious. But then not only my face, then I started noticing details of my body, like how I stretch and how I move and how it feels when I do this and how it feels when I do that. And when I press here, I feel it there. And it's just like, what the hell? Like, you start to see the cohesiveness of your whole system. And it's like awesome. But anyway, like, let's see what these cards are talking about. All right. So these cards I read intuitively, okay? So if you're into this, like if you know who Eshu is, or I guess there's many names for him, Eshu, but I relate him to like God of the underworld, something akin to like Scorpio or Pluto, basically. But it's like a mix, Neptune and Pluto. But anyway, but he also has like this Mars. It's more like that Pluto, Scorpio, Mars energy. So he's not like a god. He's more like a entity of the underworld, and he's like kind of like a part of you that's very intuitive, like your street smart self. He's like your street smart self kind of thing. Like, I guess in the Bible they would refer to this as being in Babylon, or maybe perhaps like if you think about like the underworld, where it's like where you can kind of engage in realms that are like underhanded in sort of ways. It doesn't matter what kind of underhand, it's just realms that are shady kind of thing, you know? However, this entity, Eshu, I'm like inclined to read about it. I don't want to bore nobody, but I guess you could always fast forward if you actually tuned in to listen. And this is not your thing. I mean, obviously, right? You could fast forward if you want to just get to the card reading, because now I'm really intrigued. I feel like I have to read it. Okay, where is it? It's true. There you are. Okay. Are you ready for this? I'm excited to hear about it, because I have my own interpretation, as I said, based on the imagery, and I love the flow of that. But sometimes when you read the interpretation of the creator, you can combine the two in a way that is like, oh, like you get a holistic perspective, right? Okay. So Eshu, this is one of the aspects that Elegua, Eleba, or Elevara may adopt. Many think that Eshu is one of Elegua's 21 archetypes. See what I was saying about all the faces, right? Okay, anyway. His dwelling is located at the crossing of 4 roads, which must each be open, without cul-de-sacs, in the 4 directions for at least 7 blocks. He is the Lord of the roads, who carefully and cautiously listens and attends to our requests and brings them to the high Orishas. He's a messenger. This is more, this is like Mercury, but it's like he's showing up here in like this darker energy, like with the red and black cape. He looks like a ghost body, okay? And he has a drink in his hand. He has like the Neptune spear, a cigarette in his mouth, and a black cat with him. So you see the intuition, the Neptune, and you can kind of see this is very Neptunian with the alcohol and the cigarette and the Neptune spear and the cat intuition. But then with the red and black, you get that Mars, and then you get he's like in the city at night. The city usually represents, it's not your peaceful places. This is like a place that's, you gotta be savvy to navigate. Okay, but yeah, he's in a crossroads. I didn't really pay too much mind to that, but you could see that he's crossing the street, and you could see like the entrance of the 4 pathways, And then you see like not apartment buildings, but either houses or buildings down the road. And there's trees. But it's just him on the road. It's like an empty four-way pathway. All right, so I got into that one, right? Again, the details. But you could see the resonance of the whole Gemini thing that was popping up, right? Okay, anyway. His dwelling is located at the crossing of 4 roads, which must each be open without cul-de-sacs in the 4 directions for at least 7 blocks. He is the Lord of the roads, who carefully and cautiously listens and attends to our requests and brings them to the high Orishas, for whom he is the spokesman. So he's a spokesman of the Orishas, the messenger, similar to Mercury, Gemini energy. By performing this important task, he reaches a spiritual light, covering the direst needs or human wants. I have observed many festivities of Exu in Brazil, Argentina, Paraguay, and Uruguay. Most of them celebrated on August 24th, St. Bartholomew's Day, according to the saint's perpetual calendar, which have been very beautiful because of their colors and gaiety. To the rhythm of atabaques, whoever wants to consult him, since he knows to perfection human psychology and major human issues, may do so without any difficulty. Presents, gifts, and offerings are usually brought, consisting of alcoholic beverages, cachaca, brandy, aguardiente, uncured rum, whiskey, tobacco, cigars, Havanas, etc. Many syncretize him with Saint Michael, Saint Michael the Archangel, and others with Saint Peter, the custodian of the keys of paradise, because Exu has the keys to access the different psychic roads. His specialty is to open up pathways with regard to work, professional career, or means of living. Without him, nothing can be started in the spiritual field, because he is the mediator between men and the Orishas. And, as a very well-known song dedicated to him says, without Exu, nothing can be done. While I was conducting some research in the United States, I had the opportunity of receiving spiritual guidance and advice from Exu. Some months after the consultation with him, I corroborated the accuracy of his descriptions concerning the circumstances that a relative of mine was going through. I love that, because that's exactly how it manifests. It's like, okay, out of all the... because the intention was, which is the card that I most want to... the message that most wants to be conveyed today, right? So I want to connect to the highest source in the sense of what's the message based on my heart's desire, or based on my desire to understand certain things in life, spiritually or whatever the case might be. You ask the question to the universe, and then it collaborates with you in a way that sends you the message in the way, and whichever tools you use to receive the message. And this is just one of those tools, right? Okay, anyway. Where were we? Okay, nothing can be done without him, right? And then, oh yes, then a relative of mine was going through. Okay. So, like I said, very Geminian energy, but also you can see like the Pluto. It's very Mercury, Pluto, and then kind of like the realm of Neptune. But just an interesting concept that we have also Uranus in Taurus with Mercury there. And so I feel like it was discussing the material realm. He's like the messenger for like any petitions that you have of the material world, like how to manifest or what to manifest, what is best to manifest. in terms of in your physical world, what are you wanting to bring into this reality kind of thing? And I think he's that messenger that sends, it's the aspect within yourself that conveys that message. So it's like, that's the part of us that goes to the light, goes to the source, and puts out the intention out there. I mean, by that, it's like to the higher power within us that we're not identifying ourselves as. Oh, that felt lengthy, was it not? Okay, anyway. Well, I was... okay, no, I read that part already. So the card description, here we go. He is seen walking through a crossroads and smoking his typical cigar, which he smokes and de-smokes at the same time. He spiritually cleans and or releases the energy of those who resort to him, while holding a bottle of his beverage in his right hand, and in the other a trident, a symbol of the present age, well, not anymore, the age of Pisces, in which Neptune, its governing planet, with his symbol in the form of a trident, represents man with his arms outstretched toward heaven, imploring or requesting help and protection. In one of the above mentioned opportunities, I asked him, "What is the meaning of that trident?" He answered with his peculiar sense of humor, "What do you think I use, my son, to lift human garbage, carrion, and man's coarse passions, to push away difficulties in his paths, to fight against the adversities of evil in all its expressions?" That answer left me astonished and speechless, but allowed me to understand a bit more the magnitude of the mission, of his mission. He is accompanied by a black cat, which, according to the way of cats, is the animal most commonly seen on the street corners at sunset. Let us remember that cats are very psychic animals. Popular imagery has imbued them with a treacherous or malevolent character, which is very unfair. Jeez, I just heard a scream. Okay. Malevolent character, which is very unfair for an animal. The fact is that cats are personal, intuitive, independent creatures that are ready to defend themselves against gratuitous attacks and, as already stated, are gifted with paranormal faculties. We should remember that the Egyptians, as well as the Africans, respected and venerated cats, which generally officiated as protectors of temples and palaces. A red and black cloak, since these are his colors, given Exu the appearance of a king, which he is, the king of the crossroads. The landscape reminds me of the Bay of All Saints, a city in Brazil where love and magic are one and the same thing, where the sun is sunnier and the moon seems to look larger than anywhere else in the world. Those wishing to learn about this place, without actually traveling there, should read Bahia by Jorge Amado, a famous Brazilian writer, which depicts it in its smallest details, its customs, its folklore and beliefs, its typical food, etc. Exu has a deep and profound psychology, and since he is in close contact with humanity, works in our same astral plane. Therefore, he has retained some human habits, explaining the alcohol and tobacco, which are used as magnetic elements to keep him inside the medium's body. Hold on. I need to shift my body. Give me 1 second. And turn, and turn. Pivot. Pada beret. Oh my god. Oh lordy. Okay. Where were we? I hate when I lose my place here. Alerts. Oh, okay. Human habits. Okay, which are used as magnetic elements to keep him inside the medium's body. Oh, that's interesting, is it not? So it's like having these lower vibrational things to anchor in the spiritual energy to magnetize it. Interesting, very, very interesting. Okay, my curiosity also led me to ask him on one occasion why he needed to drink and smoke. And the answer was that by drinking and smoking, he intoxicated his senses, metaphorically speaking, in order to remain in our astral lowland and be more aware of his work. I also verified that those who incorporate him change the tone, coloration, and timbre of their voice, and sometimes its intensity, but there is no trace of tobacco or alcohol on their breath, and they are not at all dizzy, rather they are completely sober. His is a virile, almost phallic energy. Many Africans' representations made of mud or carved wood, generally ebony, show this characteristic, i.e., the energy represents the innate reproductive energy of man. It should be clarified that this does not imply that the medium incorporating him will mystically receive any type of sexual information, need, or tendency, since the symbology only refers to the life-giving ability of the human race. I adore this. Okay, so the meaning, a virile man, virile man. I don't know how you say the word. Viral? No, not viral. Virile man. You know what that means. Okay. Full of vitality and knowledgeable about life, with the innocence of a small boy and the experience of an old man. Time seems not to affect him. His energy is constant. He works untiringly and persistently as he tries to attain his goals. A poet. To communicate with him, you will have to leave any internal fears aside and acknowledge in your heart all the precious gems he hoards. The card has a loyal and faithful personality, a good companion, partner, or friend that will help you along the path you have started. The card governs the male genital organs. This is a card with a high psychic content and may warn you about any danger or imbalance in this field. Written and oral communication, fraternity, association or lodge, fraternal and community feeling, abandonment of material things in favor of spiritual things. And then it says, your friend is the answer to your needs. By K. Gibran. I think that's Khalil Gibran, right? Your friend is the answer to your needs. I love this. Okay. Badly influenced by other cards. It means infidelity, coolness, lack of sexual appetite, emotional upset, laziness, lack of energy. So here's a prayer to Exu. Lord of the crossroads, who waits longer than a friend for the fraternity I have always wanted. Very hard and compromised job, that of being messenger and recipient of our requests, because Ojalá or Obatala wanted it so. Being the humblest among the humble, you have the greatness of those who became great, mitigating the pain of the doleful, helping the forsaken and unprotected. You fulfill what you have promised, collaborating in human redemption, without any distinctions as to emblems, race, color, or motives. By cleaning your karma, you help me. Put mine on the right road, fighting against evil in all its shapes or styles. You reflect the wisdom of those who understand. Long live your name, Exu. In the 7 paths, in the 7 roads, where you have thrown light to remove shadows and all darkness. Zolrak. Okay. I love that because it very much embodies the energy of the way I perceive the Mercury energy in a way. But as you see, it has like, it's like the dark side of Mercury because there's that element of the material, basically. All right, gotta go.